you guys doing? Because I didn't want to bore you with me loading the trailer, a lot of you complain that you don't want to see me doing filler stuff, meaning loading the trailer, trying to show you the background stuff. I understand some of you love it, but the vast majority of you guys hate it. So I'm going to make the video shorter because you guys aren't watching. So I'm just going to go ahead and just get right to it. What are we doing today? So today we're going to put the GT500 on the dyno. That's right. You guys saw me replace the blower on it from a 4.5 liter Whipple to a 2.6 TVS. Now, obviously, I'm not going to, rep the brand all that much. A lot of you guys want to hear me rep companies and stuff. And I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I just want to put parts on my car and see how they go. I don't care about repping whose is what. But it had a 4.5 liter Whipple with their rotor pack. This is just happens to be a 2650 from a VMP case, Eaton rotor pack, 2.4 upper pulley, 10% lower, 83-inch belt, BPS auxiliary idler, everything else the same, meaning MAF same, throttle same, injector same, fuel the same. So theoretically, I should not have to even touch the tune. And luckily, after reviewing data logs for idle and slow revs, fueling is on the money, meaning I don't have any vacuum leaks. So what I'm going to do is dyno it, and I'm going to do no more than 3 hits. Now, the Whipple made 1100 horsepower, rear wheel horsepower, and 1,000 pound-feet of torque to the rear wheel. Now, the reason I reinstalled these wheels on it, if those of you that remember the screwed-on ghetto bead locks, so that's how I dynoed it last time. So I want it to be as repeatable as possible, but I also have mufflers on this car now, so that might take away from it. So what I'm going to do is dyno it as it sits, get your sounds, power, all that stuff. And then if I have time, I'm going to undo the exhaust at the mid pipe, because that's how it was dynoed with the Whipple supercharger. It was dynoed with basically dumps right after the X pipe. So that's what I'll do. I'll disconnect the disconnect the extension, ratchet strap these guys together and make a hit. But if it makes 1100 with mufflers, I won't do that. I mean, maybe I will do that just to see the difference, honestly. But I'm going to try to keep it repeatable as possible. I aired up these tires to 30 PSI each. Usually I run these at the track at 20. They're a 325 5015 ET Street R, so I can technically drive that on the street. Kept the other fronts on it, and everything else is the same except for a 2650 with a 2.4 upper. So for those of you that didn't like seeing me ratchet it on the trailer and drive it down and give you all that nice filler content that makes it look like a movie, this is just going to be a dyno video. We're going to get right to it. We're going to get it warmed up, get it lined up. The next thing you're going to see is me making a hit and data logging, data logging with the N-Gauge. We'll review the data log, but we're going to get right to the meat of this stuff pretty quickly. All right, guys, let's get to it.
What are you doing?
See what I mean? Love that guy though, but leave me alone. Like forever. You see me out? Don't say hi. Leave me alone. I got work to do. data log. Shut off the car. Well, yeah, shut off the car. I want to do it live. I don't want you guys to think I'm manipulating stuff. So this is going to be the folder, right? So we're going to call this section 8 and run file 0. Shut this guy up. Well, hello. Well, hi there. How are you? Everything good? So I went to 6,000 because it just went, here it is. What? I was like, yeah, son, that felt really good. So I don't know what to make of the data yet, but that graph going all the way up is very nice. So let me go ahead, take a look at the data log with you guys like I did with the white 19, analyze it, then we're going to throw ice in it and go to 7,500 RPMs. For those of you that always take the SD card out, well, I didn't find an adapter, but I did find a cable that fits in there. So if you go to diagnostics, USB SD, it makes it no different than a USB drive onto your computer. So I'll just go to the computer, open it up, and take a look at the log. Okay, let's take a look at the log. Let's take a look at short trims, make sure both are reading properly. Yes sir, yes sir. They're both within 0.98. This is pump E85. I repeat, pump E85. No ethanol 1R, no saucy stuff, just regular good old-fashioned pump E85. Air load. Now the Whipple was generating about, look at how flat it is. Boy, you gotta love TVS's, huh? Look at how fucking flat air load is. Boom. Super flat. So on the hit, it's bada bing. So you see how it rolls over, then it gets flat. Well, this is where the converter like flashes up to, then it couples. So let's say 5,400 RPMs, then it starts to couple, and I wrote it out to about 6,000 RPM. 6,082 is the max RPM. Air load is 2.62. Fuel trims are dead nuts. Timing is super high because this is the race tune and the exact same tune I tested last time. 22 degrees, nice and flat to keep everything on the money. Okay, what are air charge temps? Which means blower temperature. So what was the blower temperature during that pull? What's the highest it got? Oh, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. Are you kidding me? The pull started at 117 IAT2 and it ended at less, at 108. That's where the money is. That is where the money is, guys. The inlet air temperatures go down at what? What the hell is happening? So, thank goodness, this is my biggest issue the whole time. The previous blower is a big 4.5 liter, big honking son of a bitch. And it generated pretty high IAT for the boost number that it was giving, 30 or so PSI. Let me look at boost because I totally forgot about that. It should say Z map or some other analog PSI, and look at that. It made 920 horsepower at 18 PSI. Ridiculous. So I don't think I'm gonna get more boost out of this. Like, the higher I rev it, I don't think I'm gonna make more boost. I think honestly that 900 number, I think, is gonna be the most it makes. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know you guys want to think that it makes more, but I think that's all it's gonna make. 944, sorry. Something tells me that's all it's gonna make, and it's gonna start rolling off here because I think it's literally out of boost because the cams, right? The kind of cams where they're indexed. So it's 17, 20. Look at that's boost. The number a little jagged, but it's not really the other. The other blower generated 29 pounds of boost with a 3.5 pulley. So what does that tell me? Two things. The other supercharger was either making so much boost that it was a false boost number, meaning the airflow is restricted. So it's going to have a high boost number. and it just wasn't able to push enough through the motor, and it showed you a high boost number. But before I get too off kilter, let's do this. If I can get the IAT to 80, guys, it's one IAT2. Blown away by the IAT2 number. I could cruise this car. 109. This thing was 140 cruising with the 4.5 liter Whipple. So let's go ahead, get ice in the trunk. Let's make it hit to 7,500. Let's see how it goes. A little warm. Three kind of melted bags are going in. Yeah, let's do that. Probably gonna melt immediately. Yeah. Okay. Hit it, Alex. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Oh, Jesus. Hit it right, dickhead. I got 9 bags. And it's going to be right away. No fucking around. Just hit it. See how it does. $7,500. We'll see if the throttle stays open. That's it. Okay. 3 bags, which are kind of half melted. The others are in the cooler with the Haji mark. Got a bunch. They looked at me like I'm weird. What are you doing? A really, really big picnic. Oh, I don't understand what the picnic. Too much ice for the picnic. Yeah, these are not my favorite lids. There we go. Definitely not my favorite lids. All right. Okay, same tune. Ice in the tank. 7,500 RPM. This is a bad mama jamma, I gotta tell you. Now you guys might go, well, I don't get it, Alex. How come it made less than the Whipple? Again, guys, my whole thing is, if I can actually make this streetable, make good power with stressing the engine out less, this thing might actually go quicker. And look at the rev. Okay, I'm gonna see where the rev limiter is on this bitch. See if I can move it to 8,000. I don't think it's gonna make any more boost up there. I think, see how torque is dropping off. I'm telling you, again, this has a turbo 400 with a pretty loose converter. I know I made 1100 on the previous setup, but I'm telling you guys, at the end of the day, this is better for me, because I bet you IATs are way low and it might perform better. Now, I also did a diode upgrade on the transmission, so I don't know if that's taken away or given it. I can't imagine it's affecting it in any way. But the fact that this thing whipped up like a son of a gun, pretty impressive. So, and remember guys, I also have a complete cap back. So I will undo the cap back once I look at this log. And if the log looks like that's it, it's out of steam, let's undo the cap back and let's see if there's, I doubt there's another 100 horse in there, but you never know at this power level. Okay, as you can see, air load is dropping off. MAF frequency is the other telltale sign. It's not belt slip. So MAF frequency is going up. Air load is not necessarily a lack of air flow. All right, I've seen air load drop on turbo cars, but then with RPM, the frequency keeps going up. And if you look at MAF frequency, it's going up, and it's almost at 12 hertz. No, 9. So it's a 9 hertz based on the big 148 millimeter cold air, 22 degrees of timing. AFR is a little on the rich side. What I'm going to do is lean it out to about 0.79 or 0.80. I don't think this thing needs to live at 0.77, 0.76. To me, it's slightly on the rich side. Again, look at throttle. Look at ETC actual. Boom. Bitch is open, son. Open. No wiggling, no weirdness. Exactly what I wanted. I get it. Less boost, but I'm gonna take the exhaust off and see if this thing makes another 60 or 70. If this thing is shy 40 horsepower with how much? 9 less PSI? Shit. Money. All right, let's get to tuning and we'll see how it goes. Sorry guys, IAT2 is 95 and it got all the way up to 99. I can get that sucker to the 80s. So let me work on the tuning. Let me cool it down a little more. And let me take the exhaust off. Fuck it. Let's just do it all in one shot so I don't rag this thing on the dyno. One more hit. Let's see what she makes. Exhaust. Take it off. Lean it out a little bit. And get it nice and cold. Stuff it with ice and we'll see how it does. Alrighty. Got the exhaust strapped. Whatever. Okay, got this exhaust out of the way. We're gonna go straight back, okay? Then we're gonna stuff it with ice. And then I leaned it out 3 points, from 0.76 to 0.79. That's it. So let's see if there's 1,000 in it. Hopefully that'd be cool. 1,000 through a 2.6 TVS with 20 pounds of boost. Shit, all day, every day. All right, let's get after it. All right, let's play the ice game. Stuffing 4 bags in her. Hey. You know, if this thing can stay under 120 IAT on a watt pole without ice, I can drive down the street and make watt poles in Mexico. That's the whole thing. I was like, if I'm gonna go out there cruising, looking for a race, I was gonna have to like worry about IAT issues. Now, yeah, granted, I'm not making 1100, but God, 990 or so, 980 through a turbo 400. That is ridiculously fast. Trust me, not many streets will hook. Not many cars will hook on it. Oh yeah, we stuffed the shit out of this son of a bitch. Look at that. Kind of like a slushy. Hell yeah. Nice. Alright, so that's the whole goal, to stuff it like I do your mom. Very, very, very stuffed. Okay, so let's do it. Start it. Warm it up a little bit, but not too much. Turn on the intercooler pump, and party time. Party time. So you guys think it made anything else, anything more? It sounded rowdy. IATs, I'm sure, were colder because I stuffed more ice in it. But let's see what the deal is. Almost. So not really. Crazy. By leaning it out a little bit, it made 994, 849. I am not looking to chase a number, okay? I'm going to call that a nice 1,000 because it's starting to drop off a little bit. As you can tell, above 7,500 RPMs. Max torque was 849. Guys, this is a winner in my opinion. Let's look at the log quick before I run out of memory on the phone. Beautiful. Okay, so exactly what we thought was going to happen. So we're seeing AFR be kind of exactly where I commanded it. It's 0.79 and it trails off to 0.81 a little bit, way up top, but then it comes back. So I'm not really stressing it because it's at 7,700 RPMs. And again, the whole reason behind this was the throttle. Is my throttle being affected with the boost? Very minimal right here. As you can see, this is what I would see in the data log, a very small dip to 81, but on the other blower it would actually shut quite a bit, almost about 6 or 7 degrees, and you could almost hear a limiter. But look at this guy is rocking. Now once we get it to the track, actually, you know what's funny? Let me look at another data log, because you see how that throttle dip, let's remove everything but the throttle. By removing the dumps, by removing the catback, it's like, let me just go over here in case there's certain things you're not privy to. With the catback installed, when it made 990, the throttle stayed flat. So I wonder if the resonance of the axle back being on is helping. Yeah, look, it didn't do it as severe. Look at that. It's very steady, and right here there's a very small dip. 81.73. So 82 is where I'm commanding it. So let's go look at the one with the cap back off, meaning resonance, all the bullshit. It was deafening, guys. It was stupid loud. So I'm only doing this because there's certain things that you can't be seeing because it's proprietary. Do you know what I'm saying? Ah, look at that. Interesting. The dumps were seemingly causing a bigger issue with resonance than the catback. But this thing made 994. It made 994, 4 more horsepower with the catback off. That's kind of funny that it made only 4 more horsepower with the catback off, which tells me it's not that big of a restriction, or we're simply just not making enough power for it to matter all that much. So, but let's look at the splits here. Let's keep looking at the splits. So, run 1, 0.76 lambda. The way I got it, just come in with about 112 IAT. That's the red run. So, let's choose 5500 because that's why I whack it. Heyo. So 5500 RPM, where I initially hit it. First run with no ice, 794. Second run with ice, 779. That's odd that it actually saw less horsepower there, but then it zinged past it. So let's look at where the converter couples. Let's do this because this might be a better comparison. 880 first run, 110 IAT. Second run, 90 IAT. Third run, cap back off with ice. And what are my IATs with the ice that I just put in? IAT 2 climbed up a little bit, and we started at 84 degrees, and at the top of the pole it got all the way up to 97 degrees on 20 pounds of boost. Well, how much boost did it see? It saw, according to this, 17 pounds of boost. So we either have belt slip or it was a false reading. Oh, you know what it was, guys? That's exactly what it is. The catback removed lowered boost. Again, we removed a restriction. So the only difference between this and the first 2 runs is the catback was removed, and it saw 1.5 pounds less PSI. It did peak at 20. Where did it peak at 20? Let me see. On the hip, probably. No. Here. Right. Come on, where are you? Right there, I think. Yep, 20 PSI at 5,700 RPMs. Then it trailed off because there's less of a restriction. So it made 4 whopping more horsepower. But, you know, if you go to the track and remove the catback, it'll be lighter at the end of the day. So looks like everything seems to be exactly where we thought it would be when it comes to power. So IATs at 110, IATs at 90, catback on, IATs at 88 on the hit, catback off. Obviously, the green run saw the most power overall, especially on the hit. See the green run, 942, 932, 921, 950, 943, wow, so 20 more in certain spots, 5 more there. And then at high RPM, it just kind of meets and just hangs out, and everything's just flying, and you're making similar power blue to green, meaning catback on, catback off. It made more here, but then the green one made 3 more horsepower up here for a whopping gain of 4 horsepower by taking the catback off. All right, let's wrap it up and finish the video. Okay, let's wrap it up. Wrap it up. So what happened today? I installed a 2.6 liter TVS VMP blower for 1314 GT500. This is the non-ported version. This is the first one that came out. So previously on the 4.5 liter Whipple at 30 PSI, the car made 1,100 horsepower, 1,000 pound-feet of torque. The difference between then and now is a diode on the converter and a smaller blower in displacement. At 20 PSI, it made over 980 rear wheel horsepower. Let me double check those numbers too. Okay, so it came in making 944 rear wheel horsepower at 5,000 RPMs. So I let off at about, let's say 6,000. And then it made 990 with ice in the tank. And then with the cat back removed, the MagnaFlow Street Series cat back removed, it made only 4 more horsepower, but it did make 11 more pound-feet of torque to the rear wheels. And again, guys, boost was pretty awesome to see. The 1100 horsepower 4.5 Whipple was 30 pounds of boost, and it made 1100 1000 pretty consistently. This thing at 20 psi with the cat back installed made 990. Okay, so I don't think it's going to take 10 more psi from that little blower to make 1100 with what the other one made. I would say a 20% or more exotic fuel, or test it on a different day, it might make another 100 horsepower, but it typically needs about 3 or 4 more pounds of boost to make that number. Typically we see about 26 to about 32 horsepower gain per boost when it's super efficient, but then at the risk of higher IATs, it might take this blower 24, 25, maybe 26 psi, which I don't even know if it can make that much power. But the whole purpose of this was to make it more streetable, to make sure that the IATs were manageable. Obviously IATs are going to be lower with less boost, we all know that, but the fact that it made only 100 less horse at a almost half sized blower, it's a 2.6, okay, it's 2 liters smaller than the 4.5-inch Whipple, or 4.5 liter Whipple, sorry. It's making 994. That is an insanely awesome street setup, and it's through a pretty loose turbo 400 with a cone converter and a diode. So this blower is staying, because just because it makes less power on the dyno doesn't mean it's not going to perform better at the track. If throttle stays open, if it's super happy and IATs stay low, it just might make more power. The best the other Whipple ran was 8.1 at 167. Again, I'm not looking to make it a all-out race car again. I really want to enjoy this on Mexico streets and have a bunch of fun with it. That's my goal. And I think a 2.6 liter TVS whips harder, hits harder, and it might perform better than a 4.5 liter Whipple that needs 9 more psi to make 100 more horse. So it was a lot of work, don't get me wrong, it was a lot of work. I busted my ass doing everything, but I want to get you guys video and data, and I promised myself to give you the best data possible based on stuff that I thought was interesting. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys stuck through the whole thing and not fast forward right to the dyno pulls, because that just makes my views 3 minutes as opposed to 30, and money goes down. Money goes down, there's no real reason to keep making these videos. All right guys, thanks for listening. Talk to you later.